Okay, seriously, why do we all feel like a phone that's perpetually stuck at 5% battery, just
Mm.
constantly looking for a charger that frankly doesn't seem to exist?
Mhm.
We know we should feel better, right? We try the usual stuff, but something's just stealing the oomph, like an invisible leak.
It's probably the number one complaint I hear. And, simply getting more sleep often misses the mark because the sleep you are getting, it's likely deeply compromised.
Right.
So this deep dive isn't about the basics you already know. It's about finding the actual sneaky culprits that are draining your battery.
I love it. Turning chronic exhaustion into like a detective novel.
Exactly. And for you listening, to solve your mystery, there's one absolutely key diagnostic question you have to ask. When did this tiredness really start?
Ah.
Pinpointing that moment may be after a huge stress, a diet change. Getting sick, that's step one. It's crucial.
Okay, so let's get into the suspects. We've dug up 7, and they're pretty wild. Everything from like dirt deficiencies to something weird happening with your tongue.
Uh-huh, quite the range.
We'll cover them fairly quickly, but definitely stick around because the last one, reason 7, that's the big one. The absolute most common way people, well, guarantee they stay stuck, feeling wiped out.
Let's jump in. Reason 1, the nighttime thieves.
Yeah.
These are the things we often do, thinking we're winding down, but they're actually sabotaging our deep sleep.
Yeah, the obvious one, first alcohol. Feels like it helps you drift off, right?
It's the ultimate bait and switch.
Mm.
Alcohol makes you drowsy, sure, but it's a preventer of deep restorative sleep.
Ah.
It keeps you stuck in those lighter stages, so it's not really rest. It's just mild sedation. You wake up feeling, well, sedated, not refreshed.
And what about the super fit crowd? Overtraining feels so virtuous, but that can totally backfire too.
It really does. Too much high-intensity exercise, especially later in the day, it just spikes your adrenaline. And adrenaline and rest, they're like polar opposites. You're all revved up when your body needs to be powering down.
Okay.
And then there's the late-night snack, especially if chocolate's involved.
Ah, the delicious saboteur. I knew it.
Well, chocolate has theobromine in it. It acts a bit like a mild caffeine boost, keeps the system humming.
Right.
Honestly, eating anything too late disrupts that digestive downtime your body needs to shift into those deeper sleep cycles.
Okay, so say the problem is more a restless mind. Like you can't shut off the thoughts. What helps chemically?
Two key things often come up. Magnesium glycinate, maybe an hour before bed. It's pretty well known as a muscle and nerve relaxer.
Okay.
The other one is vitamin B1, thiamine. We see B1 deficiency so often in people under stress or people who eat a lot of refined carbs.
Why B1 specifically? What does that depletion do to make you feel so restless? Like your brain won't sit still.
Right. B1 is absolutely essential for how your nerves talk to each other and for turning carbs into energy.
Right.
So when you burn through loads of carbs or you're super stressed, you just deplete your B1 stores. And since it's needed for proper nerve signals, well, that lack causes that feeling of internal buzz, that restlessness. It often contributes directly to restless leg syndrome, too. So sometimes supplementing B1 can really help calm the whole system down.
Okay, we've covered things stopping the brain resting. What about the environment messing with sleep? Let's talk about that. Slightly weird morning ritual.
Ah, yes. The sunrise thing. It involves looking towards the sunrise, not directly at it, obviously for about 10, maybe 15 minutes. Best time is between, say, 6:00 and 8:30 a.m.
Okay.
The idea is it helps reset your internal clock, your circadian rhythm. Tells your body, yep, it's daytime. Wake up.
Sounds kind of lovely, actually. Simple biohack.
It would be, except for the big catch. You absolutely have to be outside.
Oh.
Looking through a window doesn't count. The glass filters out the specific light wavelengths you need to trigger the right hormonal response. So yeah, staring out your kitchen window while the kettle boils, you're basically cheating yourself out of the benefit.
Huh. Okay, picturing everyone standing outside in their pajamas, gazing east, maybe a small price for more energy.
Maybe. Now let's shift to reason 6. The structural sleep wreckers. This is where like apnea comes in. And it's not just snoring loudly. It's actual oxygen deprivation. Your brain gets these tiny wake-up calls all night long, so you never sink into that sustained, deep restorative sleep.
And there were some really surprising findings about the physical cause using MRIs.
Yeah, really interesting. They found sleep apnea can actually be caused by fat accumulating right at the base of the tongue.
No way.
Yeah. It physically makes the tongue obstruct the airway when you lie down. It's a surprisingly mechanical problem.
A fatty tongue. Now, that's definitely unexpected. So what's the fix? Besides surgery, I guess.
Well, the most straightforward thing is overall body weight loss. That naturally reduces the fat pad there. But here's a potential game changer. Some research suggests that taking probiotics can be a surprisingly simple and effective fix for certain types of sleep apnea.
Probiotics. Seriously.
Seriously,
Yeah.
it's a huge potential win, maybe letting people avoid that, miserable mask they dread.
Wow. Okay. Moving on to the environment again. Room temperature and socks. Seems minor, but apparently not.
Right. To get into that really deep delta wave sleep,
Yeah.
your core body temperature needs to drop slightly. So a cooler room is generally better.
Makes sense.
But here's the twist. If you suffer from cold feet, warming them up actually helps. One study found using warm socks, like maybe warmed in the dryer before bed, increased total sleep time by a good 30 minutes.
Get out. Warm socks add half an hour of sleep.
Seems counterintuitive, but the theory is warming your feet helps signal the rest of your body to cool down, which is what you need.
Okay. New bedtime routine. Cool room. Toasty feet. I could do that.
And one last thing for this section. Those annoying middle-of-the-night bathroom trips.
Yes.
The main driver is often too much snacking, especially carbohydrates late in the day. It causes blood sugar swings that trigger your bladder overnight. Cut back the late carbs. You often cut back the interruptions.
Good tip. Okay, let's pivot from sleep habits to internal chemistry. Reason 2. The slow metabolism mystery. Cellular hypothyroidism. Sounds complicated.
It just means that even if your standard thyroid blood tests look okay, your cells might not be using the thyroid hormone efficiently.
Ah.
Thyroid hormones basically set the energy dial for every cell in your body.
Yeah.
Converting them properly relies on your liver and kidneys. But a super common reason for poor conversion is a specific nutrient deficiency.
Selenium.
Selenium.
And this links back to farming.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Vets noticed that farm animals, cattle, sheep, in areas where the soil was really depleted of selenium, they had major energy and health problems directly linked to that lack.
Wow.
The principle is simple. If the mineral isn't in the soil, it's not in the plants or the animals that eat the plants, which means it's not getting into you.
That really makes you think about where your food comes from. So if we suspect a selenium issue, where do we get it? Besides eating dirt, I mean.
Yeah, probably don't eat dirt. Brazil nuts are a great source. Just 1 or 2 a day can do it. Also sardines, shellfish, and if you're up for it, grass-fed liver is packed with it.
Okay. Brazil nuts sound easier. Now, reason 3. Stress and the zombie viruses. This sounds dramatic.
It can be. We all know stress is bad, right?
Yeah.
But severe, overwhelming stress, a huge emotional shock, a major physical trauma, it causes this massive cortisol spike.
Right.
And what does cortisol do? It suppresses your immune system. This gives these common, usually dormant viruses, people call them zombie viruses like Epstein, Barr, or herpes, a chance to reactivate.
Ah, they were just waiting.
Exactly. They were latent, but the stress lets them start replicating again. And this reactivation can, in some cases, lead straight into chronic fatigue syndrome.
Wow. And a fix for this reactivation is pretty intense.
It is, and we need to be really clear here.
Okay.
These viruses have a tricky defense mechanism.
Yeah.
They basically try to shut down your vitamin D receptors.
Okay.
So one specific protocol some sources mentioned to override this and push the virus back into remission involves a massive temporary dose of vitamin D3. We're talking 30,000 to 40,000 IUs.
Whoa, hang on. 40,000 IUs, international units, right. That
Yeah.
sounds astronomical. Is that safe?
You're absolutely right to pause. It is astronomical. This is not a casual recommendation. This is a very high therapeutic dose that should only ever be considered temporarily and strictly under the supervision of a healthcare practitioner who knows what they're doing.
Okay. Crucial caveat. Thank you.
It's a targeted strategy to overwhelm that viral mechanism, definitely not something for long-term use or self-treatment.
Understood. So that's for the big viral flare-ups. What about just chronic, grinding, everyday stress, the kind that doesn't necessarily reactivate a virus, but still wears you down?
For managing that more general high cortisol, one thing we mentioned is glutaride. It's a specific microbe, sometimes used in cultured yogurt, or much simpler, nature.
Nature.
Yep. Just taking long, dedicated walks in the woods, it helps immensely. And part of the reason it's kind of cool, you actually inhale these compounds called terpenes.
Terpenes.
They're like vapors that come on pine trees, evergreen trees. Studies show they can actually calm the nervous system, lower cortisol, and even boost immune function.
A free spa day courtesy of the forest. I like that. Okay, reason 4. Diet triggers. specifically histamine overload.
Right. So histamine is a chemical your body uses in immune responses. Normally, you have an enzyme in your gut called DAO that breaks down excess histamine from food.
Okay.
But things like alcohol, certain medications, and gut damage, often from things like undigested gluten, can shut down that DAO enzyme.
And
Then the histamine builds up from your food, and you get these allergy-like symptoms, including, quite often, profound fatigue.
if you think this is your problem, the fix involves giving up some pretty nice foods, doesn't it?
It can be tough, yeah.
Yeah.
It usually requires a strict elimination diet for a while. You might have to avoid things that are generally seen as healthy but are high in histamine. We're talking aged cheese,
Yeah.
vinegar, yes, even apple cider vinegar,
Oh, man.
canned or smoked fish, and fermented veggies like sauerkraut and kimchi. If you eat those and feel like you immediately hit a wall or get foggy, histamine could be your culprit.
That takes some serious dedication. Okay, last one in this section. Reason 5, which sort of connects back to earlier points. The blood sugar roller coaster.
This is huge for so many people.
Yeah.
You eat a bunch of high-carb or sugary food, your blood glucose spikes, woohoo, energy, for about 5 minutes. Then comes the inevitable crash as insulin rushes in, often overshoots, and suddenly you're dragging, usually mid-morning or mid-afternoon.
Yep, familiar.
This up and down cycle is also what often causes those 3 a.m. wake-ups we talked about, your body panics, when blood sugar drops too low overnight.
And this links back to B1 again.
Exactly. The more you ride that carb roller coaster, the faster you burn through your vitamin B1, which, as we said, makes that internal restlessness worse. It's a vicious cycle. The diet causes the crash and the weight-ups and depletes the very nutrient needed for calm nerves and stable energy. Fatigue, feeding fatigue.
Okay, we've been through zombie viruses, dodgy soil, warm socks. Now for the big one. The number one offender, the thing that, if you get this wrong, pretty much guarantees you're wading through treacle all day.
The grand finale. Reason 7. And yes, this is probably the single biggest reason most people listening are just sucking wind day after day. It's a lack of quality protein consumption.
Protein. That sounds almost too simple, especially with all the complex supplements and detoxes out there. Why is this one so critical compared to the others?
Because protein isn't just for muscles. It is essential slow-release fuel for your entire system and, critically, for your brain.
Okay.
If you don't have enough protein in a meal, you're relying mostly on carbs and fats. That sets you right up for that blood sugar roller coaster we just discussed, the spike and crash. Protein smooths that out.
So it stabilizes the energy curve. What about the brain part specifically?
That's maybe the most crucial piece. Protein breaks down into amino acids, right?
What?
So the literal building blocks for your essential neurotransmitters.
Like dopamine, serotonin.
Exactly. The chemicals that regulate your mood, your focus, your alertness, your motivation. If your brain doesn't get enough high-quality amino acid building blocks from protein, it simply cannot make those vital chemicals efficiently.
So that brain fog, the lack of drive, it could literally be a protein deficit.
Very often, yes. The source material is really clear on this. If you are not consistently eating enough high-quality protein, think meat, fish, eggs, quality dairy, if you tolerate it, you're almost guaranteed to struggle with persistent tiredness, trying to fix subtle vitamin issues before you nail this foundational piece. It's like trying to build a house on sand. It just won't hold up.
So, bottom line, if someone listening is only going to tackle one thing starting today, what's the single most impactful action related to protein?
Forget counting every calorie or getting bogged down in complicated diet rules for a minute.
Yeah.
Just make one commitment. Add more quality protein to every single meal you eat, especially breakfast.
Don't skip breakfast protein.
Don't skip it, and don't think a tiny sprinkle of nuts cuts it. Get some substantial high-quality protein in there. Honestly, for most people, that's the single most effective lever they can pull to start restoring sustained energy.
Wow. Okay. So the path to getting your energy back involves this kind of bizarre but actually doable checklist, doesn't it? Making sure your food soil had selenium, maybe checking your tongue fat, doing sunrise salutations outside, not through the window.
Yeah.
And really, really prioritizing protein, especially for your brain. It hammers home that the answer to feeling drained is rarely just go to bed earlier. You've got to look in these unexpected corners, your gut health, your environment, the actual molecules in your food.
Absolutely. And if you pull all these threads together, it really leads to a final important question for you, the listener, to think about after this.
Yeah.
If changing just one apparently simple habit, like making sure you get enough protein at breakfast, or even just using warm socks at night, could genuinely add, say, 30 minutes of quality sleep or noticeably more sustained energy to your day, What other seemingly insignificant little trick might be hiding in plain sight right now, just waiting for you to discover it and get your life force back?
Hmm.
Go find that trick for yourself. See what difference it makes.